All right, welcome to the channel. I hope that everyone is doing well on today. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for taking the time to subscribe. If you're not, and if you look over the channel and you see something that you're interested in or see things that you're interested in, topics that you're interested in, you're more than welcome to subscribe. All right, but if not, thank you very much for visiting. My point of sharing this today is to get this information out. I did try to verify this information because it's a pretty wild story, but a serious one. Okay, and so I tried to verify this information and was unable to, okay, because we reached out to the hospital and didn't get any answer at all via telephone. Okay, so welcome once again, and if you guys can, copy the photo of the gentleman that I'll feature in this share, and let's see if we can get some more information about him. Hopefully he has made it back to the US and things are looking up, hopefully. All right, so the news is that according to Ghana Web, all right, and they've used other resources, and I tried to, fact check that as well, just to make sure that this information is accurate. But pretty much this is all I'm finding, along with some other articles. Okay, sometimes these guys just copy each other's articles, so you really have to check. And so I tried to do that at the hospital, but was unable to reach anyone. But according to this report, it's allegedly, okay, all that's being said concerning the U.S. Embassy and concerning the hospital and the facts of this situation or case is alleged. All right, but U.S. Embassy declines responsibility for retired U.S. soldier hospitalized in Ghana. All right, and so the American Embassy has declined, according to this report, to take responsibility for a retired U.S. Army officer currently receiving treatment at Bloom Medical Center in Accra. The officer, Ambari Harold Eugene, was first admitted to Norabita Hospital in Tema before being transferred to Bloom Medical Center. So that's interesting. Okay, so maybe they can do some research and find out, more about him from that first location. According to the hospital officials, his landlord brought him to the initial facility in critical condition, but has since refused to assume any financial responsibility. Management at Bloom Medical Center reports that it has spent over, listen to this guys, $100,000 on Eugene's treatment, excluding the cost of meals and other expenses. The patient reportedly has a strong preference for fast food, choosing meals from KFC and hamburgers over locally prepared Ghanaian dishes. I told you this story gets wild, okay? But I understand if he's a foreigner, he may not be used to eating it foreign Ghanaian food, right? The hospital spends, this is the wild part, the hospital spends about 500 Ghana daily on his meals. So in today's current conversion rate, that would be $50 a day. This is what they're reporting, along with $100,000 that they say that they have spent thus far. Okay, when denied his preferred food, Eugene allegedly defecates on himself and roams the wards, making noise and disregarding hospital protocols. Dr. Laurentu Eugene Lalai, it looks like, country director for Bloom Medical Center, stated that the hospital promptly informed the American Embassy about the veteran's condition. Embassy representatives visited the facility, gathered information, and had management sign certain documents. However, the embassy later declined to cover Eugene's medical expenses or assume financial responsibility, explaining that they could not do so because his stay in Ghana was not officially sanctioned by the U.S. government. Officially sanctioned by the U.S. government. So is he on active duty? So why or not? Okay, or is he one of those post-military personnel? Because they are in Ghana. All right, active and post, whether they want to admit it or not. Okay, it appears, by all appearances, it appears, in my opinion. Let me add that, Okay, Dr. Lai stressed that discharging Eugene would be tantamount to a death sentence, an action the facility is unwilling to take. Now, this is very interesting. I found this very interesting. I hope the best for this man, but I found it interesting that they were willing to run up $100,000 medical bill in such a short period of time, as you will see. This is what they're stating their costs are for a foreigner, but Ghanaians, I'm sure, cannot get that same treatment. Okay, I'm a foreigner, but I just find this very, very interesting. And from my experiences in a hospital here in Ghana, I know that they're not going to do this. But this is a private clinic, okay? But if they've done this, it appears that, you know, they've gone above and beyond, but the cost seems really, really extreme. However, let's go on with this. However, the embassy later declined to cover Eugene's medical expenses or assume financial responsibility, explaining that they could not do so because his stay in Ghana was not officially sanctioned by the U.S. government. Dr. Lalai stressed that discharging Eugene would be tantamount to a death sentence, an action the facility is unwilling to take. Well, that's kind of them if that's the case. If we discharge him, he will die. What I want is for someone from his family to take responsibility, care for him, and settle the bill. We have two components, life support and secondly, the bill, he said. The hospital has spent a considerable amount of money attempting to contact U.S.-based associations for retired Army officers, but all efforts have so far been unsuccessful. When asked if the hospital would continue treatment, Dr. Lai responded, "What else can we do? Leave him to die? We don't know how long we can keep. We also have another issue. He wants expensive food and refuses to eat local meals. When you don't give him what he wants, he shouts, makes noise, and soils himself." Dr. Lai confirmed that Eugene was brought to the hospital on life support on July 18, 2025, and has remained there since. Now, someone on life support is demanding burgers and KFC? And walking up and down the halls, you know, shouting and defecating on himself because he can't get what he wants, that doesn't sound quite accurate. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, let's just say that doesn't sound like the truth, but they say that it is. Okay, so once again, this is all allegedly. In an exclusive interview, Eugene said he arrived in Ghana about 5 years ago after retiring honorably from the U.S. Army. He claims he had been living on Social Security benefits, but these have since stopped. He also disclosed that he has only a few months left on his rent. When questioned about his family, Eugene was evasive, claiming he has no one he considers family. So this is interesting. Let me show you his passport. I'm going to try to cover some of this information up. All right. But this is his passport that they put it out here so you can find it. But it says it was issued in Texas. His name is Harold Eugene Ambury. And if anybody knows him, this is what he looks like when he got the passport issued in 2021. But as you can see, you know, just 4 years later, what he looks like. He's lost a considerable amount of weight, and he doesn't seem to be well, whether physically and spiritually or both, right? Because they haven't really told us anything. They haven't told us what it is that he's dealing with, which I respect that for privacy purposes. But if he is in critical condition, it seems like they should list, you know, exactly what type of health care he is in need of. Okay, and someone that's roaming up and down the hallway, as they state, we should need some. We need some more information. Okay, but most importantly, someone needs to figure out how to get him back to the U.S. and see what can be done to assist him. Okay, and so once again, we tried to reach out to the hospital and got nothing, no answers at all. Okay, this is his name. The only thing I ask you guys to do is, if you could, you know, copy this yourself and share this information yourself. Once again, that's his before picture, issued out of Texas. That's his date of birth. It says here, born in 1957. And this is his current state according to the hospital. Okay. All right. So this is a more close-up picture of him. All right. This is what they say his current state is, which, guys, compared to what it was on his passport, you see that he looks like he's lost a considerable amount of weight. and hopefully he can get the help that he needs. Okay, so maybe some of you who may be ex-military may be able to send this out to some of your contacts to see if they can recognize him. Okay, whether he was assigned here or not, we don't know. Okay, and according to the U.S. Embassy, they said that he was not here on official business, I think, something of that sort. But just check around, guys. Hopefully there's something that can be done and that he can get the care and treatment that he needs. All right, thanks for tuning in, and guys, be careful out there, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're just dropped off at a hospital, your landlord just drops you off, doesn't provide any additional information, and you're at the mercy. Actually, if this story is accurate, he's at the mercy of that hospital, and the hospital is actually made up of foreigners. Let me just add this to the share. Hold on one second. There's local staff as well, but there are a number of foreigners who are running this particular hospital. Okay, hold on. So this is the doctor that says he's been giving him care, and these are supposed to be staff members. Once again, this is all allegedly. Okay, and until we get further information, this is what's out there. Fact check everything, and thanks for tuning in. Shalom.